What's up, guys, and welcome back to Wake Up Entertainment. So there is a lot of trouble that is brewing at MK Party, and it's not looking good at all. It turns out, that Floyd Shivambu triggered a lot of chaos to remain behind at MK Party, and this time around, this chaos that is happening, it's between John Hlophe's being not happy at MK Party, and he has written this long letter that is currently circulating on social media right now. And this long letter, it's addressed to the misbehavior of Duduzile Zuma and Ndhlela. So John Hlophe has finally had enough of these two, that is Duduzile Zuma and Ndhlela. And if you still remember, just like a few days ago on a Sunday, the Sunday World actually released an article where they were saying that John Hlophe has been thrown under the bus, and that was Jacob Zuma, not being happy with John Hlophe. And there were rumors, that were circulating that John Hlophe might be expelled from MK Party. So, John Hlophe has made here a counter-attack to go direct at Duduzile Zuma and Ndhlela and deal with them very, very quickly before they deal with him. And that is one of the things that Floyd actually failed to do. It was to deal with Duduzile Zuma. He failed to do that. And that's when Duduzile Zuma then fired at Floyd Shivambu. That's when he was then expelled. So John Hlophe knows this chess move. And the move that he is making is to go direct, at Duduzile Zuma. So this long letter that he wrote, it's dated 26 June 2025, and it's about, framed about an urgent update on the parliamentary challenges and leadership concerns. You can see that there is a lot of issues here at hand, and the primary concern being highlighted is about the disruptive and divisive behavior by Duduzile Zuma and Ndhlela. So one of the key issues this long letter is touching on, it's this meeting that occurred on 25 June 2025, where these two individuals, Duduzile and Nhlamulo, allegedly engaged in disruptive and divisive behavior that undermined the authority of the party leader and the chief whip. So one of the people that was singled out in this long letter is Ndhlela, who was said to have attended that meeting despite his removal from the whipper team, actually kind of like feigning ignorance, and repeatedly insulting the chief whip and even labeling her a political novice and newcomer. We all know the chief whip is actually Colin Makubele, who actually joined from her after coming from a political party that is the Rainbow something, and she is being labeled here as a newcomer by Ndhlela. So you can see that this issue of newcomers coming from these other parties coming in and taking over, these likes of Duduzile and Nhlamulo, they seem to continue not to be happy about it. And John Hlophe has finally, had enough of this and is now going direct at these two. So this letter, it continues to detail Commander Ndhela's escalating insubordination and noting, his insistence on raising the issue publicly despite an agreement for private discussion. So this was interpreted, as a deliberate attempt to usurp the authority of the chief whip and disrupt the unity of the caucus. So John Hlophe goes on to go direct at Duduzile Zuma's conduct, to say that Duduzile interrupted my seat, displaying unruly behavior that requires reprimanding. The cumulative effect, of their actions is described as despicable and direct contradiction of the MK Party's core principles of Ubuntu, unity in action, and respect. So on top, of this disappointment by John Hlophe or whatever that it is, he proposed, some changes in the structures of MK Party that needs to be done. So he actually proposed a structural realignment, noting that the current top management structure established by the former chief whip, Honorable Mani, operates outside the framework of MK Party constitution in parliamentary governance. So John Hlophe, was implying that a fundamental issue with the legitimacy or alignment of the existing structure, with the party's foundational documents and parliamentary norms. So there is a need for broader organizational reform to ensure adherence to established rules and effective governance. So in essence, this letter by John Hlophe going to President Zuma is serving as a comprehensive internal audit of significant governance, disciplinary, and operational challenges within MK Party's parliamentary wing. So he definitely outlined, a pattern of insubordination, alleged procedural breaches, and even potential sabotage, all of which threaten MK Party's cohesion and public standing. So this is a clear call by John Hlophe going to President Zuma, requesting him to intervene in these critical issues and restore order and adherence to party principles. But will Zuma heed the call? That's very questionable there. If there is one thing, that everybody out there always cautions against, it is that if you are in MK Party, you should never go direct at Duduzile Zuma and try and attack her or question her or whatever. It's something that Floyd Shivambu really learned, the hard way. And John Hlophe is now walking down the same route of questioning and attacking Duduzile Zuma. And it's going to be interesting to see if he can win this one, this issue of fighting with Duduzile Zuma. Nobody who's worked with Jacob Zuma has ever won whilst fighting Duduzile Zuma. John Hlophe will be hoping to be the first guy to win. But if I'm to make a prediction, there is no way that John Hlophe is going to win this one. But anyway, he has to do what he has to do. He is the deputy there at MK, and he is doing what he's doing, but it might unfortunately lead to his downfall. So this is my analysis of this letter that is leaked on social media, that was written by John Hlophe. I'll catch you guys on the next one.